I'm shocked I was late. Call to order, please.
Reset your clocks to 5 o'clock, please.
Sorry about that. Let's do a quick roll call. Rusty?
Here.
Dr. Harold, not here. Miss Laretha?
I'm here.
She's here. Dr. Olani, not here. Ken? Here.
Mr. Ken, here.
Harvey, not here. And Teresa's here. Excellent. Rusty, will you lead us in prayer?
I will, please. We all please bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for today, Lord, and we thank you again for this community. Lord, we thank you for the employees and for the mission of this organization, Lord, and for the board members. I ask you to continue to put a hedge of protection around each one of us here, Lord, and again, just open our hearts and our minds up, Lord, that you would instill with us what you'd have us do with this agency, Lord, and to take care of our community. Things we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rusty. Do we have any public comments? Hearing none, we will move right on to Kurt's CEO update.
Okay, just a couple of things I wanted to update the board on. First one is just a great honor that I was able to participate with one of our community partners, Captain Steve Petty. He resides over the Marion County Memorial Honor Guard, and he works with families and vets throughout Marion County, really tying our services to the vets in Marion County. And he's also co-founder of the Vet Resource Center in Ocala that supports our gallery multi-cancer liquid biopsy tests, and they've been real troopers pushing this along. And I got word a couple weeks ago, they said, hey, we're about to have a local veteran, Steve Petty, who is going to be honored at the Florida Veterans Hall of Fame as just one of 5 inductees this year in the entire state. And so what they're honored for isn't just their distinguished service, it's more for their work in the community to help the military service members. And he's been a real trooper with that, and especially with us. I know, Brandy, you've worked with him quite a bit, and they're dynamic. And so I decided to surprise him and go up to the Florida State Capitol where they were having the ceremony. And I saw Commissioner Curry, Senator McClain. I got to talk to him a little bit on the side about appropriations also. And they had a large contingent from Marion County, particularly the Honor Guard. So it was well represented there. And he's just an interesting guy. He's so soft-spoken, you would never know how decorated he is. You know, a Vietnam helicopter pilot, and with over 1,000 combat missions. He's just full of medals on his chest, and with as distinguished as all the other people were there, his really stood out. He had the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, Distinguished Flying Cross, Air Medals, and it's really an honor that I was able to participate in that and watch him receive this honor on behalf of himself and his family. And Bob Levinson was up there also, who is one of our partners for the Vet Resource Center. So I just want to make everyone aware of that. It was a great honor. And then also, I wanted to point out, I had a phenomenal meeting with the McKnight Brain Institute in Alachua County. So it's a division of University of Florida Medicine. So you have the McKnight Brain Institute that works on neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, cognitive decline, and potential treatments and cures. And then they have attached to that, so that's the research study side. Then you have the Fixel Institute, which is the medical treatment side. And so they call it translational medicine, where they go right from the lab, they find something that's promising, that's safe and effective, and they start utilizing it in treatments. And so I actually got to meet the key researchers for all the major research departments, and also the individual Dr. Jennifer Bison, who is the director of all the research in the McKnight Institute. And so I gave them a brief dissertation on what the hospital district does, what our goals are in Marion County, and they really took their time showing me through the research and what is, my most promising thing is, it takes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to bring a drug to FDA approval. And I said, we don't have that luxury. We're looking for what you have that you've been working on that's efficacious, that you're actually utilizing at, let's say, the Fitzel Institute. And so the term that they use for that is novel use of existing drugs and supplements. So there's over 4,000 drugs that have already been approved by the FDA, and most supplements do not require FDA approval, that they're using for treatments. So they have this supercomputer that ties together all the research, and the supercomputer does a meta-analysis for unrelated studies, and it does a meta-analysis and looks at commonalities across this research, particularly for Alzheimer's and dementia. And I told them, our biggest issue is that most of the remedies that we have today are palliative. It's to make you feel better during decline. We're looking for something that can either slow significantly or potentially be protective against, a prophylactic against a neurodegenerative disease. And so they walked me through several of their researches, including with glucagon-like peptides that they're working on that are very promising. And so this was an initial meeting to talk about how we could bring their services to Marion County. And it's just preliminaries, and then the goal is to get, there's actually two. So this was for neurodegenerative diseases, and either Laretha or Dr. Ortolani will participate with me on this side of it. And then I have a similar meeting for their Cancer Research Institute for novel use of existing drugs also. And Laretha, you might join me on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, you showed some interest in that. So the
I
goal.
have interest in both, but.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Whichever one he doesn't want.
Right. And so the goal is to do something like we did with the Gallery test. The Gallery test was not FDA approved, which is true with a lot of drugs and treatments that are currently utilized for treatments. But the goal was for Gallery to fill the study participant pool up so it can receive mainstream FDA approval and be utilized by the Veterans Hospital. And I believe we actually got approval for the Gallery test as one of the mainstream tests at the Alachua VA. So we're starting to get mainstream approval for some of these, and that's what I was hoping we could do with some of the novel use of existing drugs.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I did not do that.
Amen.
I forgot to do that.
Yes.
We need, I passed right over approving the previous minutes.
Move approval.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Catching up. And now we have investments.
Okay, let me get that.
I didn't get in.
Yeah, it's more of a, oh, here. I have too many screens open. So, participants.
Oh,
Hello? Let's see. Can't hear you, but hang on. Nathan, say something from the
It
place.
says unmuted, or no, I guess not.
it says-
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, now I can. Evie, want to try that again? No. Barely. I can hear Nathan.
Evie's gonna give the presentation too.
Barely.
Very lively.
No for me.
Let's see if I can turn this up too.
Reminds me of like COVID when my mom tried to sign on like her book club to her first Zoom meeting. It's like modern day seances. Ethel, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Barely. There.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Keep going out.
Yeah, you're closer. Yeah, better.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do this because if I
Okay.
take my headphones out, you'll hear my son screaming in the background,
Okay,
which
all right.
nobody wants.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let me go ahead and get the materials up so that I can share.
Okay.
Okay, and let's try putting this into full screen so it can be bigger for you all. Right, is everybody good?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with our performance review on the executive summary page. And we'll focus on the top left quadrant like we did last time. As a reminder, the since inception number that we're showing to you all is as of October of 2022. So the good news is that now it's officially a full 3 years of data that we have for you all, and that will only continue to grow. The portfolio remains ahead of the strategic benchmark, which is CPI plus 4% AIR for all of the time periods that are shown. But unfortunately, it has lagged the strategic benchmark over these time periods, and we will touch briefly at a high level on the attribution in a moment here and what's driven that. In terms of the market backdrop, just generally speaking, the equity markets were up during October in both the U.S. and internationally. Core bonds posted another gain in October as the Treasury yield continued to fall slightly. If we move over to page 5 and just focus here at the total fund level, I know we heard quite a mouthful from the 3 providers during the meeting last month, so no need to discuss this too much, but just as a reminder so that everybody understands kind of what's driving attribution here. At a total funds level, the way you're positioned, you are still slightly overweight to equities, and that's kind of been by design as we've been building out the alternatives exposure, but we know obviously we're going to pursue a different path as it relates to alternatives, but that's where we are for now, and that's what's really been the driving factor behind the results here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right into your total fund attribution. So the total fund was up 97 basis points for the month, which did lag the benchmark you see there in the lighter blue bar by 17 basis points. And as I mentioned before, your overweight to equities as a whole was beneficial from an asset allocation standpoint, just given how strong equity markets have been and continue to be. Being overweight will be beneficial, but the challenge there was actually the manager selection aspect that detracted. And we've talked to a large extent, I feel like, for the last year or at least 18 months about how it's been a tricky market for active management, particularly in the US, just given market concentration, with those top 10 stocks contributing over 50% of US equity market returns at least. It's just been challenging for active management to truly add value, and that's the thought process behind some of the structural changes that we've talked about, which we won't need to rehash all over again, but that's really what's driven results there. But as of the end of October, all of these changes that we've discussed bring the total portfolio market value to $329.1 million. Wanted to provide that brief update for you all. Were there any specific questions that you had as it related to performance?
No, don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, is that all you want from us? Nothing?
Yeah,
no other
that's
business?
it.
Okay, great. have a great evening,
All right.
everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Very informative, Nathan, thank you.
Deborah, will you go over the thing for the RFP?
Sure. So the RFP for alternative investments, I think initially we were trying to get it out like sometime in the month of November, but in order to get a better cast of individuals that would possibly be applying for this, we've determined to push it back until January so that after the holidays, so people have more time to apply. And we will put out a schedule probably next month of exactly what that's gonna look like and what that process will look like. So most likely, well, not most likely, we'll put it out in January, the RFP process, and then we'll probably finish it up in the March, April. And also,
And we're working on an agreement with Wilshire directly. They, part of the original proposal that was sent over wasn't sufficiently specific in terms of the scope of work they were gonna do, so there was no way to go, hey, are you complying with this or not in terms of your obligations? I've got, that I received today before the hearing that I went to that caused me to be 5 minutes late, the draft from Nathan that's much more specific in terms of the scope of work, so I'm gonna get that plugged in. And I should have it back over to him tomorrow for everyone to review, so we can get that approved and in front of the
the
board.
good news, you're 4 minutes late because we started a minute.
That's even better.
Thank you, thank you.
Is there any opportunity cost? I understand, I know we've instructed, you know, the others, OCIOs to not make any investments in, you know, alternative investments. So would those funds be sitting in cash, or, I'm just wondering, so I guess, you know, worst case scenario, you got 1 or 2 months worth of opportunity costs on whatever would have been invested in something else, is that accurate?
That's accurate. So they're just not investing in future. So whatever they have right now is gonna sit where it's at.
It'll either sit where it's at, or if they're under the threshold in a given category, they can invest more, let's say for US equities.
Okay, yeah, so they can move it into something.
Yeah, just not into an alternative investments.
Because
They still
most-
can't bust the application.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So in the extent they were, you know, so they may end up with, I guess, worst case scenarios, they end up with more cash.
They could, yes.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things also on the back end that Deborah has to take care of as far as posting and stuff, and we did not have ample time in which to ensure that that was going to be processed accurately.
Publishing it, all that.
Right. Any questions on the dates or anything? Is it causing any concerns?
So the timeline is that we would,
Going to put the RFP out in January.
in January.
In January.
Likely wrap it up in April, according to the last 4 words.
Correct. Likely around. That's correct. That's the hope and dream.
Yeah. No other questions on it? All right, Rusty, we'll move into operations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Third thing is the audit for the fiscal year 24-25.
It's currently underway. We had an initial meeting with Purvis Gray, who are our auditors, and Ken is the audit chair representative, so he will be the liaison from the board, particularly if Purvis Gray wants to speak with someone with the board as opposed to staff, since we're the ones that are directly involved in most of the day-to-day operations. So if they wanted to go directly to a board member, that is the member that represents the board. And so I think we're going to schedule a separate meeting so Ken can meet with them individually.
And Austin is phenomenal about getting a majority of the documents, like kind of going back and forth with the things that are needed for the audit, so.
And Ken did that for us last year as well, right?
Correct.
Did?
You did.
You were so good at it, you were.
Really.
Oh, yeah, last year, was I?
Yeah.
Did I do good? Superb. Keep up the good work.
Okay.
Typically,
It's
the audit,
inspirational.
It's totally true.
Typically, I mean, it takes months to go through the audit. Typically, the auditors will go to a board member if they feel that staff is not forthright or giving full information, is their direct contact outside of staff. So oftentimes it is more of a, by default, they will go to a board member on those occasions as opposed to involving them in the day-to-day finding documentation and handing it to them.
Yeah.
And we'll have two single audits also, along with our
Yes.
standard audit.
Right, it's a single audit, which is a compliance audit wrapped with your financial statement audit into one audit. It's the term single, but that is underway. They're doing that contemporaneously with the financial audit piece. Yep. And like it's mentioned here, we can't wrap the audit up until about February. FRS is, if you guys look at the balance sheet, there's several numbers related to the pension plan that we have to operate within, and the FRS reports are provided until middle of January, and then they have to be adjusted. Our books and records have to be adjusted. There's several pages of disclosures to get updated, et cetera. But it's the lag isn't because of audit issues, it's just a timing thing.
Any more discussions that Ken needs to address on the audit?
I just sent a message to Deb, I think, whether we want to talk about that, I think this is the last year Pro-Trade has a contract for the audit.
Just last year? How long was that contract for? Is it 5 years?
They've had, I don't know the terms of it, but they've done the audit since we ceased having hospital operations.
So what's the protocol on how often you need to?
It's a great question. Statutorily, I think there's a requirement every so often, years-wise.
You got to replace or change it out to?
Well, I think that's,
So you have to put it back out.
No, you actually need for you to look into that, because I don't know that that's, it may be the auditor who's doing the audit within the company, not necessarily.
And that may be, well, let me do this, I'll go do a deep dive on that before I speak off the cuff on something, and I'll report back to you.
Yeah.
in theory, they're a competitor to us, our firm, but I think the world of Purvis, they do great work, so they've continued to do great work. But I don't know what the state requirements would be. I did notice in the last year they have it without extension.
Right.
And last time we did it, we put it out in like April, I believe, because an RFP for it, actually found it the other day, so.
And originally, we based the contract on whatever the requirements were. So the length of time had something to do with the time with which we would, and like we said, it wasn't so much the audit firm, it was which department oversaw the audit compliance.
Okay. Next on the agenda would be the meeting dates for 2026. So we historically have met on the fourth Monday of the month, with the exception of November, December, assuming that we still meet from 5 to 7. So if that still is adequate, then I need to entertain a motion, Madam Chair, to approve the meeting dates for 2026.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Motion passes.
And the last thing on my agenda is the balance scorecard that they also need approval. I think there are 12 areas in there that we measured. So if you want to add any comment to that, Deborah will let you do that. It hasn't changed from last year. Well, I guess it has changed.
It
a
has,
bit.
and there are some comments in there to kind of explain what's changed a little bit in there. Crystal can talk about it. Does anybody have any questions? She can entertain them.
And just a reminder, so last month we went over the performance of the balance scorecard for 24-25, and so then staff did a deep dive on what we might want to adjust for this year for the goals, and this represents those adjustments.
Have any questions? Want me to go over any highlights for you?
Just one. So under the lead, it says a lot of Marion County Hospital District leadership, and some of those, I think, the board should participate in as leadership. Some of them are more, the executive team, and to the extent that the expectation is the board participates, that I would like that just called out or added. Kind of deep, so, executive leadership or management versus board.
Which ones, is there any?
I don't remember now, I just remember reading some of them that said, so for example,
Well, like in the first one, clearly, probably.
Identify health needs.
Yeah, with
identify
the
health
board
needs.
involvement in that one.
well, there were some educational ones that I felt like the board needs to participate in as well. Increase.
Like professional development, I'm assuming, which is.
Yeah.
And one of the things we might want to consider for next year also is the original definition for lead, and I think that's what's somewhat obscure, is who's responsible to obtain the data for this. And as opposed to participate in, it was who's responsible to collect this for the balanced scorecard.
Okay, so that's what lead means?
Yes.
Okay. Well, never.
But you're right, I think that's a whole nother column is who participates in the process. Yeah.
Who owns it?
Yeah,
So you'll do that for all of the items?
yeah.
So approval pending.
Approval, so we would need a motion pending the addition of those tasks or responsibilities.
Move approval?
Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Anything else, Russ?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie?
The wonderful staff is going to do our end of year
I'm just gonna
presentation.
say a couple words.
Yes, too.
First of all, we have staff that are here
Yeah.
that do all this amazing work. We've got Brandy, our grants manager, who, I don't know how she does all of what she does as a part-time employee, but she does. I feel like she's like a superwoman and deals with a majority of the funding that we give out in the community. We've got Diana, who is running our community home project. And you guys know Jessica. We have Jesse, and with the Active Marion project, we have a few staff that are missing, but we wanted to make sure that they came and they participated. And I cannot thank Crystal as well as Jessica, because they showed me a PowerPoint when we were prepping for this. And I was like, it'd be really cool if we had a video instead of PowerPoint, getting up there and talking about it. And then and Jessica was like, I don't know if we can make that happen in a week span of time. And then she's like, I'll work on it at night when I get home from everything else that she's doing, having kid playing sports and all kinds of things. And then you've got Crystal's like, all right, the script, I'll get it done. So this is a production that they put together, and I'm very impressed with their skill set. And we're gonna add it, that's why our Venture team, they have to wear a multitude of hats, and now you can see, now this is, so if you have any like family videos you need made. This video, we said, this is prime time for right now, but we're gonna, part of the annual report that we do every year, we felt this was more impactful than just saying the words. Saying the words. So here we go.
Roll the tape.
2024-25 Marion County Hospital District Annual Impact Report. This year, the Marion County Hospital District continued advancing its mission, improving the health and wellness of Marion County citizens through projects and initiatives that inspire health. We connect people with resources that help them pursue healthier lifestyles, and we support programs that are making a measurable difference. Guided by our 5 pillars, dental health, diabetes and obesity, substance use and behavioral health, unintentional injuries, and prevention. MCHD programs and partners reached more than 214,000 participants, touching well over half of Marion County. Every investment, every partnership, and every service tells a story of progress. Here is what that impact looked like this year. The Community Home Project at the historic Howard Academy Community Center continues serving as a neighborhood hub for reducing health disparities, strengthening families, and improving access to essential resources. CHP provides chronic disease prevention, financial coaching, tutoring, workforce support, senior wellness, nutrition classes, gardening programs, youth mentoring, and food assistance, all in one accessible location. This year, CHP recorded 3,658 program engagements. Participation has more than tripled in 2 years, reflecting deepening trust among residents. Families attended cooking and disease management classes. Seniors joined wellness workshops and movement groups. Children received tutoring, mentoring, and hands-on garden education. Food assistance and community events supported hundreds more.
CHP gave me the tools to get back on my feet. My family is healthier and I feel supported every step of the way.
CHP continues to grow as a community anchor through our pillars of creating healthy families, employment, education, fitness and nutrition, and medical and dental services. The Active Marion Project is our county-wide movement to increase physical activity through step challenges, workplace wellness, and community health education. This year, Active Marion Project recorded 28,234 program participations driven by new workplace partnerships, outreach in underserved zip codes, and enhanced tracking through the Active Marion Project app. The app captured 7.1 billion steps, equal to 3.56 million miles, or 140 trips around the Earth. Additional highlights included 100% improvement in biometric screenings at chronic disease management classes, the largest step challenge in program history. Expanded fitness and nutrition classes in high-need communities with our new evidence-based curriculum, Strong People Living Well. The Local Leaders Challenge with elected officials across Marion County. A hospital walking challenge at HCA and Advent Health. Every year, Active Marion Project demonstrates that when wellness is accessible, the community rises to the challenge. The Fitness and Nutrition in Schools program remains one of the most impactful youth health initiatives in Marion County. FANS works across public schools, private schools, and therapeutic sites to increase physical activity, improve nutrition literacy, and provide hands-on horticulture experiences. This year, FANS reported over 87,000 student engagements. Accomplishments included all public elementary schools planting fall and spring gardens, 12 private schools, and 5 therapeutic sites engaged in horticulture and FANS clubs. Over 9,000 pounds of produce harvested, more than 4,000 pounds served in cafeterias. Increased structured physical activity across grade levels. Expanded health education on vaping, hydration, fitness, and nutrition. Over 27,000 students participated in the Mayor's Fitness Challenge. The Supportive Enforcement Diversion Program provided targeted intervention to 176 students, allowing them to remain in school after first-time drug-related infractions. FANS continues to build the foundation for lifelong health. Beacon Point remains the heart of Marion County's behavioral health system, a place where residents can walk through one door and access nearly everything needed to move from crisis to stability, regardless of their ability to pay. The campus was designed to bring multiple providers together in one coordinated location. Over time, it has become a full recovery ecosystem, offering detox, therapy, medicated-assisted treatment, primary care, domestic violence support, peer support services, and outpatient counseling, all in one place. Highlights include 367 substance use detox admissions with an 84% successful discharge rate, 94 residents completing residential treatment, 414 individuals connected to care through the Access Center, 90% receiving successful warm handoffs, expanded medication, assisted treatment, and peer recovery support, increased outpatient counseling access through LifeStream, growing primary care services through Heart of Florida. Services were provided to 978 domestic violence survivors on site through Casa Marion, connecting 377 individuals directly to Beacon Point resources. Beacon Point continues to show that recovery is possible when people receive the right support at the right moment. Across Marion County, MCHD-funded health projects delivered essential services across all 5 pillars of health. This year, health projects recorded 42,161 program impacts, supporting residents through diabetes and obesity prevention, behavioral health and substance use, dental, unintentional injuries like drowning or fall prevention, prevention and detection of chronic disease. Here are the projects making a difference. Interfaith Emergency Services, 219 impacts. Interfaith Emergency Services helped residents access long-term health care by covering critical co-pays and assisting families who otherwise could not afford needed medical services. Freedom Dental Clinic, 1,663 impacts. Freedom Dental Clinic provided preventative and emergency dental care, relieving pain, treating infections, and improving oral health for uninsured and underinsured residents. Kimberly Center for Child Protection, 33,279 impacts. Kimberly Center delivered trauma-informed care for children experiencing abuse and neglect. Their school-based education also reached thousands of students with lessons on healthy relationships, bullying prevention, and online safety. Marion County Children's Alliance, 2,709 impacts. The Children's Alliance provided youth mentoring, violence prevention, driver safety education, and substance use prevention programs, building safer behaviors and stronger decision-making among young people. Transitions Life Center, 277 impacts. TLC provides health support services to families caring for loved ones with intellectual developmental disabilities 22 years of age and older. TLC helps families locate and apply for services. My Life Council, 444 impacts. My Life Council provided trauma-informed therapy and crisis support for vulnerable individuals and families facing violence, trauma, and significant emotional distress. Cut Different Mentoring Program, 53 impacts. Cut Different delivered structured mentoring for boys and young men, building leadership, academic success, and positive peer connections. Project Hope, 38 impacts. Project Hope provided case management and stability services for women and families experiencing homelessness. MCHD provides funding to connect these women and children to behavioral health counseling on site. First Rescue Alliance, 327 impacts. The First Rescue Alliance, a partnership between Ocala Consulting and Prevention and Dove Wellness Counseling, offered confidential behavioral health support to first responders and their families at no cost and with complete anonymity. This program addressed trauma, burnout, operational stress, and family strain. Impact highlights: 327 first responders and family members received support. 72% showed measurable improvement in symptom severity. Services were available 24/7 with specialized trauma-informed therapists. This partnership ensures that those who protect our community receive the care and support they deserve. Estella Bird Whitman Wellness Center, 738 impacts. The Estella Bird Whitman Wellness Center expanded access to chronic disease prevention, screenings, health education, and community wellness initiatives in underserved neighborhoods. Heart of Florida Health Center, Dental Program, 718 impacts. Heart of Florida Health Center provided preventative and restorative dental care, reducing emergency room reliance and preventing serious oral health complications. SMA Healthcare, Amnesty Program, 26 impacts. The Amnesty Program offered treatment in lieu of incarceration, helping individuals access recovery services instead of entering the justice system. SMA Healthcare, Community Counselors, 74 impacts. SMA Community Counselors provide on-site counseling services for Open Arms Villages, Hands of Mercy Everywhere, and Wear Gloves, supporting underserved populations across these programs. Veterans Resource Center, 433 impacts. The Veterans Resource Center expanded early cancer detection through Grail Gallery testing and connected veterans to needed medical, behavioral health, and support services. Together, these health projects strengthen every corner of Marion County, delivering essential medical care, behavioral health support, mentoring, dental services, and stabilizing resources that improve long-term health and wellness. In partnership with Mayor Ben Marciano, Healthy Ocala was launched and provides a trusted network of local providers, readily available services, and life-changing tools for those experiencing hardship or behavioral health concerns. Our mission is to empower a thriving community for generations with compassionate professionals and individualized support. Healthy Ocala is here to connect Marion County residents with the right people and services for a healthier lifestyle and more. Healthy Ocala is managed by the Marion County Hospital District. Since it was launched, the Healthy Ocala website has had 14,699 sessions or clicks, indicating a growing presence in the community. The Match program remains one of MCHD's most powerful tools, stretching every local dollar by helping partner agencies secure federal, state, and private funding. Every day, people walk through our doors who want to take care of their health and/or mental health and substance use, but simply can't afford it. The low-income pool and match funds helps make that care possible. Through this vital funding from MCHD, Heart of Florida and SMA Healthcare can help those who are uninsured or underinsured. It's about giving everyone a fair chance to live healthier lives, no matter their income or circumstance. This year, Match Partners served 31,604 participants, expanding access to mental health, prevention programs, medical and dental services, and family-centered supports. Every match dollar multiplies into several times its value, improving reach and sustainability across the county. This year, the Marion County Hospital District invested $17.5 million into community health programs. With 214,384 program impacts, our average cost per impact was $81.95, demonstrating strong efficiency and meaningful return on investment. Key financial achievements included $500,000 in domestic violence appropriations, 21 new residential treatment beds for mothers and substance-exposed newborns, expanded fall prevention, drowning prevention, senior safety, and Alzheimer's research pilots, growth across all major programs and pillars, improved performance outcomes district-wide, increased federal and state partnerships supporting sustainability. Every dollar is used intentionally, and every investment strengthens the community's long-term well-being. Behind every number is a story: a child discovering a new vegetable from their school garden, a teen being exposed to healthier lifestyle choices, a mother entering detox for the first time, a senior regaining mobility and balance, a family finding stability through the Community Home Project, a resident taking their first steps toward a healthier life through Active Marion Project. This year reaffirmed a simple truth: when we invest in people, our community grows healthier and stronger. Thank you to our Board of Trustees, our partners, our staff, and the residents we proudly serve. Together, we are building a healthier, safer, and more resilient Marion County, one impact at a time.
That's wonderful. Very good.
They spent a lot of time on that, and I appreciate them so much, but I think it's
Whose kid read it so well?
well,
Good job, Crystal, that was your voice.
Did anybody have any questions about the information that was presented? It was
I
just,
think that's a
That was good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I just think was more impactful showing it that way,
I
than
think
getting,
you
having
have
someone
to
get up and get
Yeah.
2 slides.
I agree. Great job.
In one
Yeah,
area.
that's building out on all of some of those details were covered in this summary.
Correct.
Yes, and, one of the areas that we've been working on, and hopefully by next year, one of the things that we want to have accurate data that we've been working on heavily is we've made several investments in capital expenditures that are there for health improvement. Mary Sue Rich Community Center, and it's heavily utilized, and they bring a lot of education and programming there. you have the nursing college, you have the medical school that we invested in. So we're trying to find ways of capturing the data so it directly correlates to what our investment was.
So I said that, I didn't, if that was in that report.
It wasn't.
Okay.
So that's not included.
Okay. That's a bonus.
Yes, value added.
Yeah.
And then also we did invest significantly into Heart of Florida's main campus so they could consolidate their facilities and also gain economies of scale. So we'll work with them on identifying some return on investment for and how many more people they've been able to serve because of that consolidation.
Okay, all right, let's move into finance.
All right, thank you. Included in the packet, beginning on page 46, is the financial report for the month and year-to-date ended October 31st, 2025. A reminder, this is the first month of the new fiscal year, and the information is shown on the balance sheet side comparative to the September 30th, or last month's unaudited balances. Just as a reminder, the September 30th balances will change a little bit each month and as we move closer and closer to audit completion, as more and more data becomes prevalent and available. So while looking at the statement of net position of the balance sheet, you should see a significant increase, and the P&L reflects as well $4 million in asset growth from the investments in the month of October, which was the main driver of the balance sheet and in the operations. With the budget to actual schedule in the back, we're 1 month into the new fiscal year and the new budget, so everything looks to be on track still. Nothing that came up in the first month that would cause any concern for the integrity of our budget. Overall, very healthy month and very strong position.
You need approval?
So, yes, but do we have any questions regarding that? All right, we need a motion to accept the financials as presented.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
We have a second, no other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. Let's open it up for any old business. Do we have old business that we need to cover? You want to think about?
I've been on the building next door.
I was gonna, thank you for bringing that up.
So we received a proposal from the architect, Michelle Bartman Architecture. It's about $28,000 for them to do work. Harvey is actively involved in that, and he's just making sure that it's in line with, yeah. So we should probably have more information next month.
And the update on the Beacon Point parking lot.
Beacon Point parking lot, we still have approvals that are necessary from water management as well as the city. There were some comments that came back at the end of last week, and Harvey is working on getting 3 bids for that because it's under a certain threshold. And even without, we're still waiting on the commentary. And the open dream is to get it done before the end of this calendar year, because a lot of people, he thinks, will come in lower because of the holidays. There's not too many people are working on construction type projects at that time, so.
But we did resolve the issue, as I recall, about storing our stormwater offsite.
Correct.
Okay.
We've got, and we're gonna keep storing ourselves.
Okay.
So it's gonna actually fix 2 issues. It's got a plumbing issue as well as the.
And we're still pretty much within our budget we approved.
I think we may be under.
Good.
If we can get it done before the end of the year, I think we'll be under.
Thanks.
Any other old business? Okay, moving into new business, any open discussion, should I say? Anything we need to cover, bring up? Okay, hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, yes.
And there's lots of things.